could Super Dragon Ball Heroes be foreshadowing the future events to come in Dragon Ball Super? What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to my Super Dragon Ball Heroes trailer number 7 breakdown review, where right now we're going to be diving in depth and seeing what this trailer is all about. Now again, Super Dragon Ball Heroes has a tendency in foreshadowing future events to come in Dragon Ball Super, as did last year with Goku Black and Zamasu, and now having to see Ultra Instinct Goku having to battle one-on-one against Jiren. So without wasting any more time, let's dive into this trailer to see firsthand what we're going to be getting in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. And again, I will say, if you guys are new to this channel, I highly encourage you guys to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button alongside enabling all notifications. That way you guys can be notified whenever a Dragon Ball video is posted onto this channel. Hashtag Dragon Ball Squad. As you guys can see on screen, we have Ultra Instinct Goku. Now, we understand based on plot, based on the narrative, that Ultra Instinct Goku has a high possible chance in returning in Dragon Ball Super, as we understand that Goku is still in the tournament and he does have his eyes set on Jiren as he's currently meditating, and given the setup we understand that they will eventually fight. But as we transition further in this trailer, we get to see how Ultra Instinct Goku is powering up, and I will say he looks pretty cool powering up. Like, he has like this white aura all around him. Again, we don't know if this is actually going to happen in the show. I'm pretty certain it is, because as you guys can see based on observation, his shirt is missing, and we saw that based on the promotional poster prior that Goku is going to possibly have Ultra Instinct once more. How he's going to get it is unknown, but we see him powering up right here, which I'm curious myself as to how he's going to do this. But nonetheless, as we go forward in the trailer, we get to see how Jiren goes on the move and squaring off against Ultra Instinct Goku. Now, of course, as you guys can tell, the sky is black here, unlike how it is in the anime where it's green. So I'm pretty certain that at some given point we are going to see Goku collide with Jiren. Of course, how Goku taps back into this power is unknown, but the way they fight here is pretty cool, because it kind of gives off that vibe that this battle is going to be way more intense than their first confrontation. But nonetheless, we get to see how UI Goku squares off with Jiren, and they're going toe to toe here, and I love this overall display because it really does look like Goku is struggling. So if you guys want to go ahead and check this out for yourselves, I will leave a link down below for you guys to watch the trailer on your own. But this is pretty back and forth like. I mean, Jiren is blocking off Goku, and this is one of my favorite shots, man. Goku here looks so fresh because, number one, he looks very menacing just based on his face alone, and it's kind of hard to say if Goku is going to come out on top here, because we know the strength of Jiren, and we know that he's hiding a lot of power. But either way, I think that what's being foreshadowed here is we are going to have these two fight again. That's inevitable. But how Goku's going to tap back into this, how the presentation is going to be quite unknown. But I think that what we're seeing here is going to be portrayed in the anime to where it's going to be just as violent, and I think that as an end result we might get a definitive winner. But that's all based on the audience to predict, because we don't know if Goku's going to be Jiren or if Jiren's going to be Goku again. But nonetheless, as we pan forward in the trailer, we get to see how Goku strikes, and again, a very awesome shot. Why is it that Super Dragon Ball Heroes looks a tad bit, more refreshing than Super does in terms of animation? Like, as you guys can tell based on, the animation style and whatnot, Super Dragon Ball Heroes, or Dragon Ball Heroes as a whole, has a tendency of creating and showcasing some really awesome display of animation and just art as a whole. So Super Dragon Ball Heroes was a thing to where I always did respect and enjoy based on like how they presented it. So, but as we transition forward, we see how Goku uses one of his punches to seal off the deal with Jiren, as we go into another shot here with Zeno Trunks and one of the other characters, Beat, having to be beaten down essentially by a mysterious opponent. Who that opponent is, we're about to have that be revealed, as we have Zeno Goku make the appearance here. He looks badly injured, and all the way out in the distance, look at this monster. Look at this gigantic, terrifying freak of nature. Now, you guys have guessed it, it is Super Saiyan 4 Timebreaker Broly, and something seems to be happening to him to where he's engulfed in like this bluish purplish aura. Now, as we transition forward, there he is. Look at him. He looks very, very cool in terms of design and in terms of overall appearance. The mask, the Dragon Ball in his chest, the hair, the muscles, looks really amazing. Hopefully enough one day they could actually have the artistic value of creating, you know, very detailed characters like this in Dragon Ball Super. But then again, here we have Paragus, Timebreaker Paragus, as you guys can see based on the patch on his eye, that he's seemingly enough trying to either control Broly or doing something to maintain Broly as a whole and keeping him stable. But as we move forward, we get to see how Toa also seems to be behind Broly in trying to either control him or doing something to harm Broly, in which essentially we see here, it looks like there is somewhat of a struggle involving Paragus and Toa with Broly. As we then get to see Broly here in this next shot, he seems to be, you know, just losing his mind in a way. Like, he seems to be overpowering this control that they're trying to place on him. Essentially enough here, we see how he is so powerful enough to where he shatters a piece of his mask. As you guys can see here, the mask essentially gets shattered. We saw the same thing occur with Timebreaker Bardock, but only here Broly, you know, maintains the mask. He doesn't lose the mask, so he looks really, you know, freakishly terrifying here. So Broly breaks through the energy barrier, in which causes him as an end result to target Toa. Now, I love this overall shot here because it just brings me back to the first Broly movie, to when he grabbed Gohan by the face, to where he grabbed Goku by the face, and essentially enough, he grabs her, you know, by her throat, by her chest. Look at the size of Broly's hand. His hand is so big, he literally could crush this lady just in an instant, and it's terrifying to see how he is portrayed, especially in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. But then as he grabs her, we see how he latches onto her face, and then essentially enough, she powers down, and look what happens here. Based on how he's introduced, we get to see how Mira kicks Toa out of Broly's hand. Now, the thing with Mira is, why does he look so much more badass in Super Dragon Ball Heroes than how he did in the Xenoverse? Like, you get what I'm saying? So we see a really cool shot of Mira here. He kicks Toa out of Broly's grasp, in which case we see how she falls on down, in which Mira ultimately saves her. But I can't seem to get this shot out of my mind because Broly looks so intimidating. I think his overall design has to be one of my favorites for Super Dragon Ball Heroes. And as we transition forward, we see how Mira saves Toa, and because of this, something triggers Mira to essentially awaken his power. Now, I'm going to get into that in a little bit. We see a foot step in, and of course, it's none other than Zeno Goku. Now, a lot of you guys seem to have loved this part. Now, with Goku having to be shown here, he transforms essentially enough into a Super Saiyan 4. Now, what's unique here is, as you can see based on his clothing, he does keep the Zeno clothing. He doesn't grow his little pants that he had in GT. I mean, he does have the fur and the wristbands or whatever, but essentially enough, he still keeps the Zeno outfit that Zeno Goku had, which is pretty cool. So we have Super Saiyan 4 Goku on the rise, and we have Super Saiyan 4 Timebreaker Broly, which he looks so deadly here. I mean, I don't know what the overall direction is going to be in Broly's character for Super Dragon Ball Heroes, but I just really hope, and I really wouldn't mind if they legitimately brought back Broly in some fashion in Dragon Ball Super or whatnot, because you can't deny this looks pretty badass. So Broly takes an eye and he looks towards Goku's direction. Goku charges Broly, and we have ourselves the first ever fight between Super Saiyan 4 Broly and Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now here, as I was just telling you guys, something triggers Mira to awaken his power. Now, I'm not sure entirely what happens here. Either he absorbs her or something happens to where, you know, she disappears, but as we transition forward, we see how Mira begins to shout out loud, and he transforms. Essentially enough, he does transform, and as we get to go in this next shot here, we see how we have the birth of Ultimate Mira. Now again, he does look like a Super Saiyan 4. By no means is he a Super Saiyan 4, in case you're wondering. This is what's called Ultimate Mira in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. And he looks really awesome. The Potara earrings are on his ear as we make our way into the next shot with Super Saiyan 4 Goku having to battle against Timebreaker Super Saiyan 4 Broly. Now, I don't know how the power scaling works here, because essentially enough, the Timebreaker characters and the Zeno characters are significantly more powerful than their normal counterparts. So I don't know where Broly ranks here, or Goku, but I'm pretty certain that they are relatively way more powerful than their normal counterparts. So Broly and Goku square off once again as Super Saiyan 4s, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but look, there's a blast. There is an energy blast that goes towards their direction, and essentially enough, that energy blast ends up hitting them, as you guys can see right in the middle, and that causes them to separate, and that's because of Ultimate Mira. Now, why is it that Ultimate Mira, as I just said, looks incredibly BA? I mean, based on his design, I really hoped, or I wish, that Super Dragon Ball Heroes can adapt into Dragon Ball Super in terms of designs and stuff, because you guys can't deny, if there's anything about Super Dragon Ball Heroes or Dragon Ball Heroes as a whole, you can't knock their designs. Their designs are just flawless. I mean, they look great, intimidating, they look like larger than life characters. So we see how Mira interrupts their battle, in which we see how Goku redirects his focus towards Ultimate Mira, and now we have ourselves a situation to where it's essentially going to be a three-man fight involving Broly, Mira, and Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And what I love here at the very end is how everybody, all three of them, square up at once, which I cannot wait for the next trailer, because this is going to depict more from each individual character. We see how Broly, Ultimate Mira, and Super Saiyan 4 Goku all collide at the same time, in which ends off right here, in which you can place your bets as to who wins this. We see how Goku, Broly, and Mira have their final shots here. I'm pretty certain that perhaps maybe Goku loses first, because Super Saiyan 4 Timebreaker Broly is too much, I think. So I'm calling it right now. I think that Goku's going to lose and further transforming into something else. But Ultimate Mira as well, he looks to be very strong. Depending on how you want to view this, this is pretty cool stuff, because it's different per se. It's not your typical Dragon Ball-esque kind of like trailer. We have an involvement between Broly and Mira and Goku, and we have lots of different things happening with Mira having to essentially transform. We also have UI Goku having a battle against Jiren. We don't know, and I'm pretty sure that hopefully one day they will, but I want to see Jiren having to battle against a Timebreaker character like Broly, or perhaps maybe Timebreaker merge Zamasu. It's pretty possible for that to happen. Again, Super Dragon Ball Heroes has a tendency to perhaps maybe foreshadow something, as did last year with Merge Zamasu. They showcased Goku Black and Zamasu fusing before Merge Zamasu was introduced in Dragon Ball Super. So perhaps here they're teasing that it is going to be a rematch between Goku and Jiren, which again is bound to happen. But in terms of everything else seems to be different, and I just love the overall ask of Goku transforming into a Super Saiyan 4, having Broly, essentially squish Toa into Mira having to potentially absorb her power and transforming into Ultimate Mira. So post your comments down below, guys. What are your overall thoughts on this trailer? What are your overall thoughts on the designs? And what are your overall thoughts on Super Dragon Ball Heroes? Do you guys play the game? Are you guys familiar with the game? Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to punch that subscribe button, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like down below. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.